What stupid object do you own but don't regret buying? I have a titanium spork. I don't do the kind of long distance hiking where a few grams of weight matters, but in college, a friend of mine had one, and I didn't, and it bothered me ever since. 15 years after graduation, I'm living the dream. I have a Christopher Walken poster in my walk-in closet so that it would be a Walken walk-in. Best $8 I ever spent. I regret ordering the special edition of Duke Nukem Forever. I regret owning the game in the box it came in. I regret owning the poorly written comic book and inexplicably tiny pack of Duke playing cards. I do not regret the Duke Nukem bust that I have proudly displayed on my shelf. When I was a young kid, when we'd go to the doctor's office, my mom would tell us the names of all the stuff in the room. You know, this is a Q-tip, this is a syringe, this is a tongue depressor, etc. Then they'd get the blood pressure cuff and my mom would say, this is a sphygmomanometer, and if you can't say sphygmomanometer I'll get you one. Of course I couldn't say it and everyone had a good giggle. Well, I got older, and my mom stopped asking me to pronounce sphygmomanometer, probably because I actually could and she didn't want to buy one, but she still did the name all the stuff thing. I figured she made the word up to have a laugh. I grew up, went to college. One week I got really sick and went to the student wellness center to be seen by a doctor. So I am sitting there in the room reading some tacky posters about HPV and not driving drunk when I notice that their fancy blood pressure machine has a word stamped into the metal front. It reads, sphygmomanometer. When the nurse comes in I ask her to pronounce that word. Says it just the way my mom did. It's a real word. I called my mom and told her the story. She bought me a sphygmomanometer. I don't even know how to use it properly, but I'll keep it forever. No regrets. Took my ex to meet my family back in January. Out of state. We hit up the small town thrift store, been around since the 50s. Cool vintage joint that was around the corner from my folks. They had this sterling silver fish ring she was obsessed with. It was gaudy. $75. Way too big, but definitely her look. Christmas had just passed but her birthday was the following month, so I chalked it up as a gift idea. Snagged one of her rings a few days later for measurements. She passed away shortly after that trip and before her birthday. Visited the family a few months later, and since the thrift shop was a few blocks away and a ritual to visit, I walked over, browsed around for a bit and saw that dumb ring staring at me in a new section. Sighed and bought it. The ring isn't my cup of tea and I'll definitely never repackage it for someone else. Spending $85, yeah, the price went up, on a ring I'd never wear or give to someone definitely hurt my frugal side. No regrets though. It's safe and stashed away in her box of stuff. Crap man, I'm sorry to hear that, but perfect story man. Glow in the dark light bulb. I'm pretty sure that's what all light bulbs are supposed to do. I could be wrong. A replica portal gun with working lights and sounds. A dog toy which is a pig that oinks. I don't have a dog. I'm not sure which of these I want more. I just bought a shirt with the 3 handsome kids on it. Under it says Nirvana. Best $10 spent yet. Harry Potter wand. Spoiler, it does absolutely nothing, but every guest does the exact same thing when they pick it up off my shelf. Swish and flick. Warms my heart every time. A 10-pound bag of greasy pawn shop artisanal soap for $5. They came in shapes like Santa Claus and gingerbread men, along with things like birds and gnomes. I blew it all up with a pellet gun. Well, that's one way to use them. According to a few people I know, my 1974 Chevrolet Nova that I bought when I was 16. It was puke green. The interior was crap. The engine was tired, cockeyed, and it had no exhaust system, radio, or air conditioner. 7 years later it is red and white. The interior is still crap, but it has a period correct looking radio head unit. The engine is a little more aggressive and has an exhaust system that kicks butt. It is my favorite never ending drain of money. Bright orange sport coat. Freaking love that thing while the fiancé hates it. I wear it very rarely and mostly in the fall or spring, but it's glorious. Bright orange with paisley lining. You should get her a nice blue one. Then you can attend fancy balls to support endangered owls. A really fancy tiara. I wear it when I'm super drunk and want to feel like a pretty princess. I bought it to go with a Halloween costume about 20 years ago. It's stainless steel with a lot of Swarovski crystals, so not a cheapo plastic child's dress up toy. I have 2 crappy plastic lightsabers, Darth Maul and Obi-Wan's. They're my favorite things ever. On a whim I bought a dual ready lightsaber for $100 because my friend had bought one and I wanted him to have someone to duel with. I bought my guinea pigs super elaborate hideaway houses. Like one is a beach cabana and the other is a garden house. They just look so stinking cute resting in them. A Zune. Yeah, it's a relic now but it was great while it lasted. I had mine for 7 years. It lasted through 2 newer iPod and has been dropped more times than I can count. It got burgled, and I'm so sad because of it. Life-sized wall sticker of an elderly Asian man. It's on the door of our dorm. A drinking horn. That thing is just plain old fun to have. I bought one this year at Download when I was freaking wasted staggering around in a pair of lederhosen. I then drank some mead out of it from a buddy's stash and went walkabout. Some Austrian guys fed me Stiegel and I basically died after that. It was a good day. A genuine Polaroid camera. The old one. One night, I got really drunk. It was after a breakup and I was feeling super depressed and wanted to make the pain go away. So in my drunken state, I was browsing Facebook and saw an ad for an app. Lucky Cactus. Just tap the cactus for luck. It had all these great reviews and pictures of people who enjoyed it. $10. I thought about it briefly and bought a digital cactus app for $10. Here's where it gets weird, though. Sometimes when you tap the cactus little icons pop out. I've wished for help with relationship issues, a good job, you name it, and every time I wish for something the corresponding icon pops out. Not once have I ever wished for love and had the money icon pop out, or wished for a good job prospect and had the heart come out, and so on. My drunk Facebook status for that night was Jesus is a digital cactus. I have not deleted the app since. I take it very seriously now. Thou shalt not lightheartedly tap the cactus. Jesus is a digital cactus. Drunk and Facebook can be magical. I have a Texas shaped cutting board sitting in my living room I bought from Goodwill. It's so obnoxiously Texan, but it's too nice to be used for cooking. So I use it as an XL coaster and now there's a big ring around where Austin is supposed to be. When I was like 16 I bought 2,000 stickers that said for rectal use only. It was the sticker that was put on certain prescription bottles and stuff. I would keep 20 in my wallet at all times and would just put them on everything. They were like $4 so I don't regret it. I bought my now husband a Louis Tomlinson doll from One Direction for his birthday as a joke a few years ago. He has a secret love of them and found Louis to be really funny after watching some videos. We just moved into our house and we're unpacking things and he opens a box and starts laughing hysterically. He was actually crying, he was laughing so much. He found the doll. Well worth the purchase right there. My husband bought 2 little sheep statues. We were going through a rough patch in our marriage and I felt he wasn't being romantic anymore. He desperately asked what the heck romance is to me. Because I had no idea how to answer, I told him it was buying useless crap for no other reason than because it might give the other person a laugh. He took it as a challenge. The next day he went out and looked for the most stupid, useless thing he could find. He found 2 ridiculous statues of sheep. I laughed, then cried and fell in love with him again then and there. They now stand in our daughter's nursery. My husband was going into the convenience store and he asked me if I wanted anything, so I said surprise me. He came back out so proud of himself and handed me a very small box of baking soda. He succeeded. We still laugh about this more than 10 years later. I have a 7-foot tall suit of armor I bought on a whim when I was 19. Tied him to the top of our Jeep and drove him home, where he has cut the hands of anyone who has tried to touch him. It's been over 7 years and Octavius is still the best. He gets dressed up for holidays and loves to scare the crap out of workers who come in the house. This freaking cat. He's only 4 months old and he's a dang moron. He's constantly running around at the speed of light, knocking into things. Oh, and he loves getting his claws stuck on things and then hollering until I can unstick him. Oh, and every time he lays down he rediscovers his tail for the first time and starts chasing it. He's a dumbass, but he's my dumbass and I love him. There was a bar that had like a massive sombrero behind the bar and I asked if I could have it. They said no, but I managed to convince them if I could have it if I did 20 tequila shots in 2 minutes. Managed it. Threw up 5 minutes later. Can't remember the rest of the night, but I woke up with a giant sombrero and I'm happy. A label maker. I have no practical use for it, but I use it to leave stupid notes all over my dorm room, my roommate's stuff. Stuffed animals. I have many and they just sit there not doing anything, and I will never get rid of them, ever. A pair of 7 inches, bright pink stripper heels that glow under UV light. I'm not a stripper. I probably never will be a stripper. I have never worn them out of the house, but they sure are great for reaching tall shelves and or feeling tall and majestic. I have a vintage brass navy diving helmet that I bought off of an ex-girlfriend. It was one of the things her dad kept from his bachelor days, and they held onto it after he died. They were downsizing though, and she knew that I liked it, so she contacted me after we broke up and offered to sell it to me. When I see it I don't think of her, but it reminds me of that period of my life. I do think of her father every once in a while. I never met him, so I always wonder what kind of guy he was. Head massager. It's a metal spider looking contraption that sends tingles down your spine when you push down on your head. Looks ridiculous but feels amazing. One of those Pepsi Perfect replicas they released for Back to the Future Day. 4 tiny fuzzy bears to go with the dollhouse size table, chairs, and cake I made in woodshop class. They have no functional purpose but they are so cute. 2 Hot Wheels replicas of the Homer, the car that Homer Simpson designed. One has plastic wheels, one has rubber. I saw them at a car show and I had to buy them. I was 30 at the time. I have a kitty coin bank where when you put a coin on the dish, which is a button, a kitty peeps out of a box, meows, and steals your coin. It amuses me so much. Well, my family said my Fallout 4 Pip-Boy edition was stupid, but that Pip-Boy looks awesome. My family said the same thing about my Fallout Anthology mini nuke. Screw them, I like it. I want to make it into a clock. My Fallout 4 Pip-Boy, which you can use with the game and your phone, as the game's lead developer said, or close to. It's a stupid gimmick, but it's the freaking coolest stupid gimmick I've ever seen. I own a Jesus action figure. I'm not religious whatsoever, but I saw a Jesus action figure when I was 17 and figured there was no way in the world I'd leave the store without something so incredibly ridiculous. It's absolutely ripped, which is the funniest part of it all. Big ass leather hippo, probably cost more than any single item I own outside of my car. I won 4k at a casino in London and bought the hippo from a store in Knightsbridge. A £750 computer monitor, grossly overpriced for a tiny benefit. It hasn't made me a better gamer. I'm still crap, but goddamn is it pretty and makes me smile when I play. I'd do the same all over again. Bamboo keyboard and mouse. It's no more functional than whatever keyboard and mouse you are using. It just looks cooler. Selfie stick. I'm a machinist, and I work on big parts with deep bores that need inspection for weld defects occasionally. It's so much easier to put my phone on a stick and reach down inside a part and snap a few pictures than it is to crawl across the dang part while reaching in and trying to hold my phone steady enough to get a clear picture. My drinking bird. I like it even after seeing it can't press the Y on a computer keyboard. When I was in college I was doing community service for my fraternity. They were selling a SWAT bulletproof vest for 50 cents. It even included steel ballistic plates. Best 50 cents I have ever spent. I used to work at McDonald's and when I started we had the teeny beanies. A little boy walks up the counter to buy ice cream or some BS and he puts his toy on the counter. I looked it when I took the order and 16 years old me thought that was one badass sheep. I ordered a Happy Meal for myself on break and made sure I got the sheep. I named it Chuck, name of my grandfather's sheep whose scrotum was torn open by their dog Sputnik. Lol, poor Chuck. I used my sewing kit to sew dental floss through its back so I could put it in my car's rear view mirror. I am now out of college, married, and in my second desk job, doing programming and analytics, and Chuck has been in my car for 8 years and is older than my current car. I looked online to see how much he costs and eBay sells him for $80. So I'm not the only one who thought he was badass. You have been visited by the Wealth Rat. Subscribe in 12 seconds and he will share his wealth with you. Thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.